What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we finally get a hands-on look at that new XL form factor that RK1UP is introducing with their new Golden Tee cabinet. FCC leaks are calling it Legacy. We're seeing terminology of XL, but who came up with that? Is that the community? Is that RK1UP? At this point, who knows? But at the end of the day, who cares what it's called? What's important is it worth your money? Is it worth $700? Let's find out. So let's take a look at the box that the new XL cabinet comes in. Let's look at the damage corner first. You're going to notice some interesting terminology. Golden Tee legacy product. This is what we saw in that FCC filing, and it calls out specifically no lit protector and no stool. So that sort of implies we could see a bundle in the future. The XL cabinet does not come in an XL box, measuring in at about 44 inches, the same size as a 3/4 scale RK1UP. Placing the two side panel pieces together on top of this 4-foot table really gives you an idea of the overall size of this cabinet. And as far as the included documentation that comes with the cabinet, it's pretty much standard RK1UP stuff. Nothing special to see here, nothing XL, except the way they've packaged the multi-language portion, which folds out like a giant roadmap. I have waited my entire life, well, at least a few months, to get my hands on a cabinet that has these molded coin doors. They look great. RK1UP, what are you waiting for? Sell these on your website now. Now, because that front panel is so thin, attaching these black plastic pieces of art is going to require a spacer before securing it with a screw. Now, there is no riser with this cabinet, but it is built in two separate sections. So we're going to finish up the assembly of the lower section while applying plenty of blue Loctite. Now, I know why they did this, because of the shipping constraints, trying to fit all this in a standard box, but I really don't like it. It's too much going on the front of the cabinet. The assembly is a little cumbersome. You have to use the dowels, then you have to go in with a reinforcing plate and screw this on, and then you have to take your J-block and assemble that as well. It's just too much to accommodate a small piece of side panel. Here's a close-up look at the back of the monitor, and let's zoom in on this part number, and you're going to see that there's no BOE branding, and that's going to be a problem later on in the video. RK1UP claims that these are upgraded speakers, and are they actually upgraded? Well, I'm not exactly sure. The magnet does look a little bit larger, and the speaker cone material looks to be different. Now, is different better? We'll soon find out. I swear these marquee assemblies tend to get a little more elaborate every time I put together a cabinet. This is sort of a fusion of Terminator 2 and Big Blue. Now, so far the assembly is going pretty smoothly, and I gotta say I like only dealing with half of the cabinet at one time. And as you finish up the assembly of the upper section, you'll notice that the lower cross members actually extend beyond the side panel to serve as an index when you join it to the lower section. So there's no light behind it just yet, but this marquee so far looks pretty damn good. The PCB looks to be standard RK1UP, nothing really unusual here, but no, I still don't know what that micro SD card slot is used for. Now, to save my back, I assembled this stuff on tables, and I thought this was going to be a big problem when joining these two pieces together, but to my surprise, it actually snapped into place. So what you're looking at here is potentially a situation that I didn't think all the way through. How do I get it down on the ground? So I thought that I could just slide the other table out, but then I got concerned that the round table might slip out once I tilted the whole thing up. So using my massive brute strength, I was able to lift it and gently place it on the floor. Crisis averted. Now, before we put the control panel in the cabinet, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on under the hood. Taking off that rear cover gives you a glimpse of the encoder board, the switches, the buttons, and it looks like that trackball, while they call it out on their website as large, it's not different. And of course, when you're talking about an XL cabinet, I had to do a comparison of what I have in my arcade. On the left is going to be a 3rd generation representation, and of course T2 on the right, and they are almost exactly the same size. I think the XL cabinet just has the edge. So the marquee looks great, the size of the cabinet is great. I'm probably not going to need to put it on that 4-inch riser I have, but as I move my camera around, you can see a problem, and it is that monitor. And viewing angles are an issue. And as a point of comparison, check out this BOE monitor over here on the Terminator 2 cabinet. You can go far left and right and not see any kind of discoloration or bluing, but over here on the XL cabinet, it doesn't take much at all, and you've got some major distortion. Here's another example of me trying to set up my camera on a tripod to capture some of this gameplay footage, and if you're not looking directly on, you're going to see it washed out and the discoloration. It's not as bad as those first generation countercades, but it ain't good. And this may be considered a nitpick, but it is a weird quirk. When you try to exit a game, you're prompted to press a button that does not exist on your control panel. Where the hell's the player 1 button? Come on, Arcade 1-Up, that's just sloppy. Now, if you had that first Arcade 1-Up goldentee machine, or if you're familiar with goldentee games you've played in the arcades, you know that the games are all very similar, and so are the selectable settings within this cabinet. They're exactly the same. There is no difference between the different years. Now, the only difference in game settings is going to come from Shuffle Shot, with the addition of the rounds per game is something you can change. But when you make your way down to World Class Bowling, you're going to be limited to the same settings that you find on all the other goldentee games. Those speaker grills look to be the same ones that were used on their pinball machines, but I gotta say, the sound that comes out of these speakers is pretty impressive. Check out some gameplay footage right now of me cranking up the volume, and I know you can't quite make it out in this video, but the bass is impressive. Now, I know earlier in the video I said that the trackball didn't look different, but it definitely feels different. It feels better, it feels more like a cue ball, better supported inside its housing. This is arguably the most important part of this cabinet, and I gotta say, I think they nailed it.
Last puck. Last puck, eh? Oh, geez, slow down. Yeah, last.
Alright, so that's it. That's the new XL form factor. That's a new XL cabinet, how it goes together, all the good stuff. But what do I think about it? Would I recommend it to you? So the pluses are going to be the form factor, the marquee's not washed out, I like the graphics on the side, the trackball feels improved, and the speakers are awesome. I think the only real downside is going to be a lack of game settings on the individual games, but that's something that maybe they could patch with a future update. But I think the big sticking point, the biggest problem that I have with this cabinet is the monitor. What is the point of having a larger monitor if you could not maintain the same quality that we've come to expect with the 17-inch 3/4 scale cabinets? And to be honest with you, at this point, I don't really care what the excuses are. You should have just gone with a 3/4 scale cabinet, re-release the goldentee cabinet that you made before, but with all these new games, with these new improvements, and just call it a day. And if this is the monitor that's going to be included with that Pro Series KI cabinet, everybody who buys that is going to be in for a huge disappointment. And if you think this is going to make the 2-player experience miserable, just wait till you get your hands on your Shack Jam cabinet. Players 3 and 4 on that cabinet are going to be miserable. And you know, it is a damn shame with this cabinet. They got so many things right. To mess up the monitor, it's just unforgivable. So with a sticker price of $6.99, I say pass on this cabinet. Wait till it drops $100, maybe even $200, because the single player experience is fun. The games included are fun. The sound is great. I really love the bowling. I'm probably going to be addicted to that game for quite some time. The form factor is nice, but until they improve that monitor, there's no way in the world they should be able to sleep at night asking you to pay $700 for what I just got. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.